Hello guys, welcome back for another episode. Today we'll be taking a look at the Sega Genesis Classic game console with 2 wireless controllers, 80 built-in games, and compatible with Genesis Cartridge, brought to us by our friends at ATGames. Here at the front side of it, some of the games included, diagram of the product itself. Turning it over. Package includes classic wireless game console, 80 built-in games, 2 wireless controllers, AC power adapter, and instruction manual. More Sonic pimpage. Look again at the games and the console itself. And last but not least, well, not for kids under 10, and more info from ATGames, along with a cute little diagram of where everything goes together. Hooray! Here's a quick little pan of all the licensed Sega Genesis games that are included. Definitely some very nice titles, lots of Sonic games, lots of Shinobi games, my personal favorite, Vector Man of course, Streets of Rage you never go wrong with, Kid Chameleon, all the Golden Axe games, especially Golden Axe 3 which wasn't released, and the, I guess, homebrew fill-in games. Hooray! Well, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and take a look at all the goodies inside. Luckily, these boxes are very easy to open, thank you ATGames. First things right away I see is the instruction manual. Let's see, more Sonic pimpage, generic information, as well as information about the games themselves. Of course, more info at atgames.us. Also included in the box is your classic AV cables, looks like only mono audio, standard power adapter, which actually looks like a cell phone charger, 5 volts there, the wireless controllers, which seem very light, very aftermarket-y, and I'm sure you guys know what I mean by that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the actual little console itself. See, it's very small, very lightweight. On/off menu buttons, and I do give them props for putting actual controller ports on it, so I can use my actual controllers. Grips on the side, audio video in, power in. Very small, very lightweight console. I have very little complaints with the design, definitely a space saver. Now here's a side-by-side comparison with the ATGames Sega Genesis Model 4, air quotes, and the original classic Sega Genesis. As you can see, it is significantly smaller. And a side-by-side comparison with the Sega Genesis Model 2. It's still a great deal smaller, and although the ATGames one bulges a bit, that's nothing in comparison to the space you're going to save. Go ahead and load up some AAAs into the controller itself, give a little bit more in-depth view onto what I think about the controller. The batteries definitely do give it a bit more weight, but not much. There's only player 1 and player 2 select, nothing to really turn off the controller and save battery, sadly. One little pro tip I will share for anyone who has a problem similar to this with a console that only has mono audio. Get a simple little splitter, attach it to the audio out, then get your standard composite cables as such. Go ahead and connect the video as per the norm, and now we are able to have dual mono instead of just single mono, which is better than single mono. We're saying the Stone Ages after all. Just a quick little look at the menu as well as the games included. As you can see, we have the actual games first, and then the generic aftermarket homebrew games afterwards. Here's a look at Sonic running from the onboard ROM set. It's actually running pretty smoothly. The sound is a bit, well, not spot on, not perfect, not 100%, and of course not, because this is an aftermarket system. But graphics look pretty good, no glitching, no artifacting, at least nothing obvious to my eye. I had to boot up Altered Beast. This is actually one of the very first Sega Genesis games I played, and I'm happy to say this almost looks like a perfect port of it. Very impressed with how it looks, especially the voice modulation. Pretty much intact, or at least as far as I can remember. definitely lives up to my expectations in regards to my love for Altered Beast. To also boot up the ROM set of Vector Man on the Sega Genesis Model 4, just to see how it plays out, and it plays pretty well. The sound, of course, does have problems, but no complaints really as far as the gameplay. It doesn't slow down at all, no problems, just as fun as I remember. Across the Road is one of the onboard homebrew games, I guess. Basically, this is just a Frogger clone. As much as I do razz on this, it actually is a very complete game, fully done, you know, it has its own background music. It is what it is. So, yeah, but that's not much. So I decided to boot up an actual cartridge, and this is Rocket Knight Adventures. And so far plays pretty well, no real problems. Of course, the sound isn't 100%, as I stated earlier numerous times. This is a clone system or aftermarket system, whatever you prefer. Now, this is a third-party game called Whack Critter, which just continually reboots, so there is compatibility issues. Very interesting to make note of. On the topic of third-party cartridges, the Accolade cartridge, in this one specifically, Bubsy, seems to have no problem playing at all. It seems that no matter what system you play it on, the Bubsy virus will continue to spread, taking all originality and creativity with it. Better get this out of here quickly. Now this is Urban Strike, another third-party cartridge. This one was put out by ATGames, and seems as though the ATGames have no problems playing. In fact, they play just fine. So there is, of course, minor compatibility issues. I do know I had problems booting up Super Street Fighter 2, as well as a couple of other games, which is kind of sad, but, you know, it's what you get when you go for these aftermarket consoles. Well guys, this has been my review of the Sega Genesis Classic Game Console, brought to us by ATGames, and definitely interesting. Space saver, for sure, that's one positive about it. Compatibility is an issue, sadly, but for somebody like me that has a very small game room, this is definitely something I would consider keeping in my game room. I would recommend this for somebody that you know who's interested in getting into retro gaming but doesn't have access to a lot of Sega Genesis games, or perhaps a gift for somebody like myself who's interested in these aftermarket clone consoles, you know, for collection purposes. Aside from that, guys, unless you can find this at a bargain, I would advise to pass on it, unless you really need that space saved. Until then, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and remember, have plenty of geeker days.